Hello everyone, another episode of Crusader Kings 3, and we are welcomed by these absolutely disgusting 3D models. I'm joking, they are not that bad, but I'm not a huge fan of them. But let's start with the quote, like always. So, the quote is, "The best strategy is always to be strong." Clausewitz. Powerful words by powerful man. And geez, he was really powerful. I've never read his book, by the way. Let me quickly continue. Maybe someday. Unfortunately, it's not 100% focused on military affairs. It's about also politics and the war, which is the, let's say, extension of the politics. So it's probably not the reading for me. But either way, war. That's what I like. Okay. So, war is an essential part of Crusader Kings 3. I'm sorry, just to add. I like war in games, okay? In real world, not really. But it depends. Somehow it's justified to make a war, okay? Let's not get deep into that rabbit hole. There are many concepts to cover, but for now, let's touch briefly on some of them. The rest and the details we will let you discover as you start playing. Next. The most important events in any war are the battles. Of course they are. Which are fought by armies. Do you even explain the concept of army? And also the battles? At the start of the battle, one side usually starts with advantage, dependent on factors like terrain, commander and commander traits. Armies take casualties based on the amount of damage sustained. The battle enters its aftermath when no soldiers remain for one side. The winner of a battle is awarded war score dependent on the magnitude of the victory, alright. Most of your soldiers will come from levies, but you can expand your army by employing men-at-arms. And that's a professional army, basically. The player has direct control over the composition and size of their men-at-arms regiments. Different types of men-at-arms are good or bad in different types of terrain. Each type also counters another type. Men-at-arms can be stationed in holdings to increase their effectiveness. Men-at-arms counter. Most men-at-arms are able to counter another type of men-at-arms. When a regiment is countered, its effectiveness during a battle is decreased. The more a regiment is outnumbered by its counter, the higher the penalty. Alright, this is pretty straightforward. Just wondering how it works. For example, in Victoria 3, I have no idea how artillery or the cavalry really affects the battle, because, I don't know, I suppose there are some attached details about it, but at the first glance, it's not that obvious that the artillery is better or not, so I'm just making the composition of my army based on my own judgment, how I would do that in, I don't know, real world or in any other games. Like, for example, in Total Wars, I always found having 2 to 3 artillery units just enough. Of course, depends, because in Napoleon Total War or Empire Total War, I would probably go for more. But in games like Attila or Rome, I probably would use 2 to 3, something like that, and I would find it to be enough. I think that I used 3 in Total War 3 Kingdoms, yeah. And that was just okay, so I don't know. If things get really tough, you can also hire mercenaries, provided you have the gold, of course. Open the military view highlighted. Yeah, let's go, love it. Oh, I love those graphics, look at that. Couldn't you do the same for the characters? Okay, so some people say that creating 3D models is a bit easier, it's more generic than 2D portraits or paintings or whatever, but with well, ability to harness AI to do so, is it really going to be so hard to make those 2D models, 2D paintings, graphics, whatever? Look at that, that looks absolutely beautiful. It's immersive. It's immersive as hell. And then look at that guy. I mean, he doesn't look bad, let's be honest. This is just fine as well. But it could be better. More immersive. That's my opinion. You may not agree with that, and I know that many people will not agree with that. By the way, I haven't mentioned the coffee today, so it's a Brazilian Duo. It's a great coffee. The most important events in any war are the battles. which are fought by armies. Most of your soldiers will come from levies, but you... Oh, sorry, I've already read that. When war starts, you can raise your armies with a single click of the big red Raise All Armies. Oh, really? That's a rally point in Vermont. Button that will appear together with the war score icon to the lower right of your screen. So probably somewhere here. You can, of course, raise all armies from this military view as well. I can create a men-at-arms, I have levies here, I have knights, I have only 4, and I can click raise all men-at-arms. Does it include levies then? Men-at-arms will be raised at the rally point closest to your realm capital. Or raise all armies. Levies will be raised at their closest rally point. Men-at-arms, special soldiers, mercenaries, oh there are also special soldiers, and holy orders will be raised at the rally point closest to your realm capital. So in that case that's gonna be Luimnich. Luimnich? I have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm very sorry for any Irish viewer. I'm very sorry. What else? When the war is over, you have to disband your soldiers before starting another war. I have to disband them? Oh. Okay, but that assumes the situation where I have a war, the war is over, and I start another war, so I have to raise them once again, right? Or no? So in Victoria 3, armies are demobilized automatically when there is no other war ongoing. Just wondering how it works here. Rally points are mustering grounds for the levies and men-at-arms under your command. This is where they will appear when called to war. Next, to start a war you will need a legitimate reason, a casus belli against another ruler. Okay. Of course, yeah, casus belli. A casus belli, cause for war. Cool, we can learn something. Required to declare war on another ruler. I mean, I know what's the casus belli, that's the reason, right? But here we have the explanation. It's from Cause for War. The casus belli specifies what the war is about, usually a specific territory, the war target. It is not possible to gain anything more than the casus belli allows, regardless of how soundly the enemy is defeated. This is actually great mechanic in those Paradox games, because otherwise you could conquer the world in no time, I guess. I mean, the good players, I'm not a good one, so... But the good players, they would do that easily. And also that would kill the game. It wouldn't make any sense. It is not possible to gain anything more than a casus... Okay, one of the most important casus bellis are claims, whether they come from succession or the fabricate claim on county task. Oh yeah, I know that we can fabricate claim. Against another ruler, there are various ways to obtain casus belli. You might have the Jure titles that make you the rightful liege of your target. You might inherit claims, or you could pursue holy wars against nearby infidels. So yeah, that's also possible. So if, for example, I have a title, that's the Jure title of Desmond, right? But he's not my vassal. He doesn't belong to me in some way. I can actually make a well, I don't need to make casus belli. I have casus belli on him, right? I don't need to fabricate it. All of these are the most common. There are dozens of different types of casus belli for you to discover and use as you play. The easiest and most straightforward way to acquire claims is to use fabricate claim on county. This is something your court chaplain sees to through one of his consular tasks. It's interesting that's the task of the chaplain. Really. I'm wondering why was chaplain selected for that task. Why is the chaplain? Or not some other diplomat? Okay, I understand. Oh, that's it about warfare, unfortunately. Almost there. Unposing. Soon we will let you unpause the game. There are just a few things to go over first. Firstly, it's important to know that there are 5 different speeds available for you to play at. Press keys 1 to 5 to easily switch between them, and you will be able to pause or change the pace whenever you want. Secondly, for certain important events, the game will auto-pause for you. That's correct, I like it. There is nothing wrong with playing at lower speeds, increasing the speed when things are quiet or slowing it down when you go to war. That's correct also. Generally, we recommend you pause the game when inspecting menus or when you are faced with tough decisions. Absolutely agree. Absolutely. To start the ticking of time, unpause the game using the spacebar or by clicking the play button in the lower right corner. This will let days, months and years go by. Armies instructed to march will move, events will occur on screen, letters will be sent and characters will age. Find a speed that is comfortable for you, you can always change it later. I understand. What now? Now, as a first task, let's remind your neighbor, the Earl of Desmond, who his rightful leash truly is. I've been talking about it just a minute ago. If it happens to expand your realm, then so be it. Using the character interaction system that we went over earlier and selecting him via the map, declare war on the ruler of Desmond. You should already have a valid casus belli as his title is de jure, a part of your realm. I still try to get the grasp of the jure, but most titles are considered part of higher tier title de jure by law. Most titles are considered part of a higher tier title. Okay. For example, ruler may be King of England, but the realm does not yet contain all the lands that are legally considered to be part of England. Oh. The holder of a duchy, kingdom or empire always has a casus belli to control of its de jure constituent titles. Alright. I mean, I understand the concept. I'm just thinking about how to explain to someone else, like, what do we mean? What do we mean by de jure? Okay, for a more hands-on experience, we will now walk you through what happens in the flow of war. Declare war on Earl Muiredach of Desmond. Awesome. So previously I vassalaged that guy, but now I am supposed to fight him. His opinion of me is pretty decent. It's plus 31. So it's a bit sad that I have to declare war on you, buddy. Use a casus belli to declare war on Earl Muiredach. Okay. Okay, and here we have options to select casus belli. We have 2,468 levies, including 400 light footmen, 10 mangonels, 200 longbowmen, 100 light footmen, and 10 mangonels again. Okay. I'm not gonna ask why. They are splitted. We have 7 knights and 1700 levies. Decent quality, it says. And he has 400 units, over 400. 2 knights, light horsemen and bowmen. Decent quality as well. And that's the money I have. Their military strength is vastly inferior to ours. Choose a casus belli. Seize the Earldom of Desmond de jure. Seize the petty kingdom of Munster. Oh, so it says that... interesting. So there are 2 options. I can seize the Earldom of Desmond. Or I can seize the petty kingdom of Munster. What's the difference then? Like, if I select the seize the Earldom of Desmond, what's going to be to change? Like, what's the difference between those two? I'm confused, to be fair. But alright, I'm gonna seize the petty kingdom of Munster as the game suggests. Boom, choose an objective, petty kingdom of Munster. I'm just wondering whether I pronounce it correctly. Petty? If you enforce your demands. White peace, surrender, enforce demands. You gain the contested titles, white peace. Oh, it says what's the outcome. El Muiredach keeps the contested titles and... El Muiredach keeps the contested title, you must pay him war reparations. Ooh. And I'm gonna declare war. The cost is 100 prestige. Oh, so... Going to use that. Damn, that doesn't sound like a plan. Automated armies disabled. If enabled, your armies are raised and fight the enemy on their own and assign their own commanders. You are still responsible for buying men-at-arms, hiring mercenaries and going on raids. Going on raids. What's the raid? Armies can be raised as raiders from rally points. Raiders can move into neighboring lands and pillage them for gold. In order to raid, a raiding army must stop in a holding owned by a foreign ruler and choose to start raiding. Upon doing so, they will be stuck raiding for some time, after which they will get gold and pillage the holding. Oh, okay. Gold will be stored on the army and only added to the treasury when they arrive home. This is great. This is awesome. If you defeat a raiding army carrying gold, you will take it, and they will be unable to raid you for some time. Oh, okay, but that's mostly for tribal and nomadic rulers. Okay, I'm gonna declare war right now. That Earl Muridach Mac Kartach of Desmond loses 25 opinion of me for 12 years. And crime rightful imprisonment. What if I just kill him? Declare war? War declared. Declared war on Earl Muridach. Okay, I understand. Raise armies. You are now engaged in war. Next, you should ready your armies. A button has appeared at the bottom of your screen to help you, but you can also do this from your military view. Can I raise armies before I start the war? This is quite crucial, right? I mean, that's like a mobilization of the army, or at least that's how I understand it. Wherever your rally point is, in this case Vermont, which is that state, let's call it a duchy. Is it a duchy, right? And here we have counties. Yeah, that's a duchy. I hope so. So, that's where your army will gather and await your orders. Note, you will have to unpause the game, press the spacebar for your army to gather more than a handful of men. Leave it for a few days and the army will be at full strength. Okay, raise all armies. Levies will be raised at their closest ready point. Men-at-arms, blah blah blah. And here we have war score, right? Munsterian, the Euro war for the petty kingdom of Munster. War score, yeah. I'm gonna raise them. Alright, and that's the army. First army of Vermont. What if I call it the first army of Munster? Okay, the name is just fine. And now you are raising, right? Gathering, 2 days left. Quality low. Who is commander? Kon Khoba Maklo Khan Briain. Dude is 19 years old. That's my nephew, Marshal and Commander. Bold villain. Character personality, bold villain. Will act towards you and others according to his personality, which is prominent in my base. Okay. What does it mean? This character is very cruel and is significantly more likely to harm others. Use hostile schemes such as murder, punish prisoners with execution and torture, and join as agents. Oh my god, they do not care about the suffering of others. This character is somewhat bold and is more likely to declare war on rulers close to their strength, accept and propose duels, and take risks, for example when getting medical treatments. They are less affected by dread. Can I swap him? Select new commander. Oh, this is possible. But his opinion is 62. I could assign myself as well. That's my cousin. How good you are. Fearless antagonist. Oh my god, there's so many options. Bold lackey. That's my son. How old are you? 18. You could also command. Defender, friendly fatal casualties. That's my courtier. Here we have army movement speed and retreat losses. That would be also cool. I'm just wondering whether I change the commander that's gonna affect his opinion. Well, you have raider trait, hostile county attrition, and raid speed. This is not the option I need. What if I assign myself as a commander? Advantage in hills, in mountains, in wetlands. I think this is good if the king guides the army, right? I have a lot of them though, so I can actually use some of them too. For example, that gentleman. Or my cousin. And he's a knight. You don't have any specific martial skills, right? Okay, I'm gonna select myself as a commander. Hopefully the guy is not angry on me. Okay, I'm on post, sorry. Army movement. To move your army, click on the army on the map. Right click on the area you want to go. Perhaps the enemy capital barony. Oh, well, makes sense. If you order your army across waters, it will embark, turning it into a fleet. For now, let's stay on land. Oh, for real? If you order your army across waters... Oh, the waters, you mean that? Like, big water. Not the river, right? Fair enough. Let's see. Standing still. Is it already in full strength? Okay. Looks like it is. I understand. So, here is the enemy barony. Yeah, I think we are going to attack that. Okay, okay, a few days passed. Let's send that army over here. Now that your army is moving, it's probably heading into battle with enemy forces. This can be a head-on encounter with other armies or the start of a siege. Battles will happen automatically if two hostile armies cross paths. Similarly, sieges occur when you place your army on an enemy holding. This is a good time to unpause the game if you haven't done so yet, otherwise time stands still and your armies will not move. Alright. Okay, I see that they raised some levies, some troops. What we have here? Wedding celebration. With my marriage to Petty Queen Huned, the realm expects us to throw a suitably extravagant wedding celebration. There is no need for that. What's the point of wasting money for it? Come on. I can share that money with you, my people. Or with the soldiers who are proudly marching against Desmond. It is well within my right to collect a royal aid duty as part of this, but some may consider it tasteless to levy an extra tax during a time of jubilation. Of course I will collect it. Who pays for their own wedding? Dude, where do you live, buddy? Where do you live? What do you think about the world? What do you know about the world? Jeez, man. I will let my subjects enjoy the festivities without worry or care. That's the right path. Boom. Let's go, let's unpause. It's post now. Now it's in post. Okay, it's marching. Okay, yeah, there's a battle. Okay, I'm gonna pose. I like it. That looks really great. Look at that, beautiful. The outcome of a battle between two armies depends on a number of things. The number of levies both sides have, which, if any, men-at-arms either side is using, the commanders involved, and even the terrain you are fighting in. More details can be gleaned from the combat view. Click on your fighting army to open it. Here we have it. So, wow, there's so many information. Let's see. So we have wetlands, development growth, county effects, military effects, movement speed 70%, combat with 60%, and defender advantage +5. Attacker modifier, retreat losses +25%. I do not plan to retreat, of course. Friendly, fatal casualties +20%. This is also cool that they discern those fatal casualties, because that's how it worked in medieval world, as far as I know. So, in general, fatal casualties in this case, were rather low. Mostly, both armies were focused on capturing prisoners, because they could take a ransom for them, so it's more profitable than killing the guy. So, yeah, it might be, interesting, surprising for some people that battles in Middle Ages were rather less bloody than we can see in the movies. Really. During battle, many, but usually not most, soldiers are killed or too badly wounded to ever fight again. These are permanent casualties as opposed to merely routed casualties. Okay, cool. I really like that. Discernation. Defender modifier, retreat losses, and also friendly fatal casualties. Alright, so affects both sides the same way. What we have here, relative strength. So there are numbers of my and enemy soldiers. Combat width is 469, whatever it means, and base 783. Half the total of all soldiers at the start of battle. So does it mean that only 469 of my soldiers can fight at once? And the rest is put in reserve? I guess so. And here we have total soldiers. Mangoles are not taking action in that battle so far. On his side, everyone is fighting. Yeah. I'm missing 10 mangonels. No clue why is that. By the way, you can read about it if the game allows me to. Okay, mangonels. Creation cost effective up to 4. Okay, so Well, probably that's... Okay, that's a siege weapon. Siege weapons are men-at-arms that focus entirely on sieges. They do not have an impact on battles. Oh, right, that's why they don't take action during that battle. But will make a siege complete much faster by increasing the siege progress. However, siege weapons are only effective as besieging holdings up to a certain fort level. Alright, that's a problem. And then we have light footmen. I'm also curious about them. Type skirmisher. Counters these types. They counter heavy infantry. Which makes kind of sense because they are way more mobile. And you also have some terrain effects. In forest, damage +4 and toughness +6. In taiga +4, toughness +6. And in jungle as well. Cool. And that's a decent quality. By the way, what does it mean decent quality? Quality gauges the power of an army relative to its number of soldiers. An army that only contains knights and men-at-arms will be of high quality, while an army containing a large number of levies will be of lower quality. This means that a smaller army with a high quality will punch well above their weight. Carefully consider both the amount of soldiers and quality before engaging the enemy. Alright, that also makes a lot of sense. That's a Battle of Desmond. What else we can find here? So we have maneuver phase. Is that the maneuver phase right now? Then we have some other phases. Okay, so that's the maneuver phase still. Advantage, two in your favor. Your damage is increased by 0, but our advantage +20. Commander martial skills, leading own soldiers, and rough terrain expert. Their advantage, defending in wetlands, commander martial skills, and leading own soldiers. Alright. And then we have what? Light footman, countered by opponent's bowman. Deals 88% damage due to being countered. Fighting in wet terrain for light horsemen. And countering opponent's light footmen. Alright, there's plenty of information available. Okay, I'm gonna unpause. Sorry, I'm gonna click understand first. And now we have early battle phase. Ordered retreat will be possible in the late battle phase in 12 days. If the army is defeated in the early battle phase, it will be completely destroyed. Dude. Okay, I'm unpausing. Okay, what advantage? -4 in enemy's favor. By the way, why do I have only 1,000 men when I knew that I had like about 2,000 in total? Okay, I've already lost some men. Routed casualties 23, okay. What is it? Current roll. Maximum roll 10, base 10. Okay, I don't know how that current roll affects the battle. Alright. Oh, there is a battle roll. Okay, so that's basically about that advantage. Okay, I think I'm routing them now. Yeah. There is a better battle roll for me. Your damage is increased by 35%. It's still early battle phase. Okay, I've lost 100 men, but those are routed casualties, so it's not a big deal. How about them, by the way? 187 routed. Okay, this is late battle phase. Either side can choose to retreat in an orderly fashion. Right-click on the map to order your army to retreat there. Okay, so now I can retreat my forces. If I would like to, of course. If the army is defeated in the early battle phase, it will be completely destroyed. I know that. I haven't lost any knights, which is cool. And that's a victory. Awesome. Well, that looks beautiful. Look at that. Jesus, stop doing so. Oh, that's because the game is paused. Alright. So, we are pursuing. They are retreating, of course. There is no additional information. I have pursued effect per full regiment. Awesome. That's for the light footmen. Okay, and screen effect per full regiment. Because they have light horsemen, so they can just slow me down pursuing them. The winning side is cutting down the remaining losing soldiers. Total soldiers, 83. Battle of Desmond. I would like to see more details, though. But, alright. Okay, let me pause. A siege. Your army is stuck in an enemy holding. Click the highlighted icon, the spearheads, to find out how it's going. Spearheads? Click the highlighted icon. Where is that highlight? Oh, there it is. Boom. Okay, it's open already. You need to win sieges to win most wars, as they increase your war score. Whenever a siege is won, it takes a few rounds of attack, the area will become occupied, changing its regular look on the map from a solid color to stripped colors when zoomed out. Okay, for now I don't see it, because probably there's no... It's still not occupied, I guess. Am I correct? Siege progress. Okay, it's slow, daily siege progress, 1.3 by, well, per day. Because of the 10 siege weapons, and each gives me 0.3? No. I don't remember how much. Base is 1, man-at-arms 0.3, and besieging soldiers. Okay, so I get 0.3 for 10 mangonels. And siege event 20 days, next siege event. Which means that, well, probable assault. No, there is an assault. I can assault it. The walls must be breached to start an assault. Of course, that means high casualties. Supplies fully stocked and no diseases. Awesome. What's the... Okay, so the time is max 8 months left. Jesus, yeah. Well, in medieval ages, that's correct. Sieges were extremely long. Extremely long because of the ability of fortress to sustain attacks, of course. And, well, you could speed up by assaulting, but it meant huge casualties in most cases. So it's the Siege of Tralais, and what it is. It's winter, severity mild, supply loss in provinces affected by winter, alright. Wetlands, select all your besieging armies and select the holding. Loot is 35, monthly loot. Motte, bastions and curtain walls, small harbor, cattle lands, pilgrim's quarter, monthly loot, okay. Whatever it means from development, realm capital. Okay, I understand. War score. Okay, you know what? There is 32 minutes on my timer. I would love to continue, but I need to go. So, that's it. So our first war is ongoing. The first battle was won. With, well, of course it was... it wasn't scripted, but let's say it almost was. Okay, so it's still pretty cool. Very funny to watch, very funny to observe and analyze, and I really like it. Well, it's cool that we start with the war at the very beginning, so that's pretty intense, and hopefully that also indicates that the whole game is pretty intense in terms of military affairs and warfare in general. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to continue that series, because this is very refreshing, and I truly like it so far. And I believe that's the best tutorial I've tried so far, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a winner of the Noob and Tutorial series, because, well, who else is left? Imperator Rome only. Of course, I could also consider Europa Universalis 4, but because we know that Europa Universalis 5 will be released on 4th of November, there is no reason to go to Europa Universalis 4. So I may also give it a try. I mean, Imperator Rome. I'm also very curious. It's pretty cheap now on the internet, so why not? And I'm pretty sure that the warfare system is somewhat similar to the one we will get in Europa Universalis 5, so maybe that's a good idea to try it as well. Either way, let's recall the quote from the beginning and we will finish the episode. So, the quote is, "The best strategy is always to be strong." Clausewitz. Awesome. With that being said, once again, thank you, and see you next time. Goodbye.